So you know what the mom does? She buys the murder house. And she goes inside to get a vibe, a feel of it. Hi comrades, happy Sunday. If you're new here, I usually do horror movie reviews, horror series reviews, and shock site / shock video reviews. But in today's video, I just wanted to talk about how bad American Horror Series Season 1 was. I've already done episodes 1 through 4, I believe, on my channel, and I did like each individual review. But in this video, I'm just going to talk about the last 3 episodes of American Horror Series and just why I think the show flopped overall. So episode number 5 was called Ball. It's about this lady. She really wants to get pregnant. This other woman gives her like a little totem. Is that how you say it? Totem. And she gets pregnant, but then she is like going through postpartum depression, and she is also starting to see things, and she thinks that the baby's from the devil, and then she hears like "He Is Mine" on the radio or whatever, on the baby monitor. My tone of voice, I hope, indicates how just these last 3 episodes that I watched, they were just so like filled with useless stuff. Anyway, so she hears "He Is Mine," blah blah blah. Basically, she goes crazy. Then we find out that it was actually her husband and his mistress that were making her crazy. And then we find out that the mom actually did make a deal with the devil. And then the last scene is her having sex with the devil. I don't know why they decided to put this into the show, and why did they write this? I hope this gives you the feel of episode 5. Episode 6 is called Feral. It's about this family. They go on a camping trip. Their son goes missing. Then 10 years later, the dad gets a knock on the door, and the man comes, and he's like, "Hey, I'm a hunter, and I saw your son in the woods. One of my cameras picked it up." Why did he set up cameras in the woods? Not really explained. So the dad and the mom, they do the genius, brilliant idea. They decide to go to the woods with this random guy who was like, "Hey, I know where your son is, but you're also gonna have to pay me a bunch of money." They go to the ranger cabin. We meet the ranger. He's the Antichrist from one of the seasons of American Horror Story, which is pretty cool. Nice that they're actually like mixing the actors now. Basically, at the end, we find out that the tour guide just wanted their money. It was all fake. Obviously, they keep looking for his son, and they also find out that there's something in the canyon that's not good and that wants to kill them. I mean, at first I thought it was Bigfoot, because for some reason movie makers decided to show us a picture of a big footprint on the ground. But it's not Bigfoot, it's just feral people. That's why the episode is called Feral. At the end of the episode, the mom and the dad, they're running through the woods away from the feral people because they're chasing them, because you know the episode's supposed to be scary or whatever. And they get surrounded, and they meet their son, who is actually one of the feral people now, because now he's like a teenager and he was raised by the ferals. And the last thing he says is that they're dinner, and then all the ferals attack them and eat them. Ooh, big plot twist. Alright, last episode. You're not ready for this garbage. This one is called TVMA. It takes place in the murder house. Noah Cyrus, for some reason, is in this episode. She goes into the house. They're like renting an Airbnb with her boyfriend or whatever, and she gets killed by every single ghost that was in the murder house. But also there are ghosts from all over the season, like Twisty the Clown, and it's kind of weird. The next shot, we find out that it's actually all a video game, and it's this mother. She's making a video game for her son, I guess. She doesn't understand the vibe of the show, so she put all the ghosts into murder house, and her son doesn't like that idea because, frankly, everybody would think that it's dumb. Why would you put ghosts like Twisty the Clown and Leatherface into the murder house? So you know what the mom does? She buys the murder house. And she goes inside to get a vibe, a feel of it. And she obviously gets killed. We start meeting all the characters. We meet the first 2 girls from the first 2 episodes. What are their names? Scarlet and Ruby. We also meet the DILF from season 1 of American Horror Story, Mr. Dr. Harmon. 1 year goes by. Because the mom's killed, she can go out on Halloween night because she's one of the ghosts. So she goes to see her son. And her son is really mad because he, for some reason, is mad that she went to the murder house and she got killed there. and he wants to burn down the murder house. Mom doesn't think that it's that good of an idea, but plot twist, he actually decides to do it. Some of the ghosts in the house are into the idea. The others, like Ruby, are not, because, well, obviously they have like a lover or whatever. Ruby didn't like the idea. She texted Scarlett like help or whatever because she saw that the guy is trying to burn down the house. For some reason, he can't flick the fire. It took him like 2 minutes to start the fire with the matches. I think he was waiting for Scarlett to show up and try to stop him, but she obviously didn't, and as the match was falling, the whole thing set on fire and for some reason blew up. So I don't remember if there were canisters left on the staircase, but for some reason the house did blow up. I don't know. And then Ruby asks Scarlett to die in the fire with her, and Scarlett is like, nah. And I think that was the ultimate heartbreak. 3 years later, this is like the 6th. They keep cutting like the time, and it's kind of annoying. I don't know. I don't like the stupid 10 years later, 3 years later, 6 months later. You don't have to tell us that the time changed. You can just show us. So because the house burned down, now there's a condo built on the property, and Ruby decides to buy the last unit in the condo. And as she's like reminiscing what happened, and then she cried in a bathtub earlier, Ruby shows up in her bed in the leather suit, and she's like, I was the only one who wanted to stay, everybody else moved on. So I guess that's a happy ending. And then we find out that it was all a video game. I don't know why this show tries to be like Black Mirror. Like, why so many we don't need 4 plot twists in one episode. Last episode especially was really, really messy, and you can really tell how much the writers and the producers are trying to hold on to the best era of American Horror Story. It is also very obvious that the writers just kind of sat down through some ideas of what they saw in other movies, what they remember from the show, and they were like, hey, let's put this one in. The writers basically took the most worn out horror plots and American Horror Story plots and put them all together into one show. And none of the episodes had any nuances or any development. Plots were really lackluster. There was really nothing unexpected or unpredictable in any of the episodes. Like, nothing is resonating with me. And to top it all off, like a little cherry on top of the cake, there are a lot of actors that are there because their parents are rich people, and like they are a product of nepotism. Like, I don't understand, why was Noah Cyrus there? And the writing was so horrible. It was like high school dialogue. At some parts I was cringing. Not just acting, but the writing in general. I would rate this entire season like a 3 out of 10. And I kind of hope they don't make a season 2. But if they do, I'm still going to watch it and then tell you guys how much it sucked. If you stayed this long, I really hope you subscribe, because I try to post at least once a week. I really hope to see you in my next one. Bye!